Yo, what's going on, guys? We're here today, and I'm actually in the library, but basically, I wanted to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and what to expect from them this offseason. It's actually going to be I feel like, a tumultuous one. After Doc Rivers' first season, this team should have gone to the conference finals, but now the biggest question is Ben Simmons. We all can agree, like, are they going to go for Kyle Lowry? We knew they were really trying to get him, and they just weren't looking to part ways with a few players, and they settled with George Hill, who was still a great signing. But, it feels like this team definitely could have. They not they did they exceed expectations? I don't know, but it took Ben Simmons basically one playoff series to become one of the worst contracts in the NBA. And Ben Simmons needs maybe come off the bench and be a change of pace five, he's kind of like maybe a spark plug. I don't know if this is you know feasible to anymore think that I think a change of culture or a change of scenery where he realizes he has to become the man and maybe just change his shooting hand. Basically, for the 2021-22 season, this is their players under. They got 11 guys under contract with Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid being all 30 million plus. Tobias Harris is actually getting 35, Embiid's getting 31, and Ben Simmons 33. George Hill is, partially guaranteed $10 million. Seth Curry, 8 million. Then you got Matthias Thybulle, Anthony Tolliver, Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, Isaiah Joe, and Paul Reed. Paul Reed's a stud, and they have cap holds on Danny Green, Mike Scott, Dwight Howard, Furkan Korkmaz, and a bunch of other people. Who they bring back? Probably Furkan, and I don't think they'll be able to keep Danny Green. Someone's going to overpay for him. Dwight Howard, I think championship contender teams are looking that you need a guy like Dwight Howard coming off the bench. He's the perfect center, and there's going to be a lot of teams fighting over him. Now, Paul Reed was one of the best defensive players to come out of the draft, in my opinion, of last year's draft. And going into this year, he's shown a lot of it. He's a guy who could be a double-double machine and get you a steal and almost 2 blocks a game. I'm really confident on that. So he could develop into something. Isaiah Joe has the length to be a plus defender, and he is a capable shooter. So maybe he gets more minutes. But you got Tobias Harris for taking up 27% of the cap. Ben Simmons 25 and Joel Embiid 23. Get rid of Ben Simmons. All right, Kyle Lowry was what they wanted. So maybe they move on Ben Simmons and seeing if there's a guy the team that'd be willing, maybe Ben Simmons for Buddy Hield, and maybe they could get some picks back. I don't even know. That wouldn't work because they have De'Aaron Fox. You got to believe that if something could happen, he had Joel Embiid's development into a superstar and his impressive playoff performance on a torn meniscus makes the Sixers appear less flexible and even more desperate than they've been at any time since Joel Embiid. So this is a playoff disappointment, and maybe that because they're going to trade Ben Simmons away, the process will be remembered as a failure. But I don't think it's a failure. They got the assets. If they win a championship in the next 2 years, everyone's going to be like, it wasn't a failure. But what else do we need to look at? Who can they go for? Players that they need. So they need to make a decision. Ben Simmons, yes, he's a great defender, but Matthias Thybulle is an all-defensive player. So, for example, go for Bradley Beal, send over, or even Russell Westbrook, send over Ben Simmons. I think they'd take that deal in a heartbeat. I don't know if the Bulls would be willing to trade Zach LaVine, but Zach LaVine's another option. Ben Simmons for Kyle Lowry, I want more stuff back because I think Ben Simmons is way more valuable than Kyle Lowry for the Raptors because he's young and they could develop him, and Nick Nurse is the perfect coach to do that. Nick Nurse has the Nurse pill. If you guys haven't searched that up, it's a ball that teaches you how to shoot. Nick Nurse is known for making people good shooters. If we need a coach to fix Ben Simmons, it's Nick Nurse. Anybody's going to fix him, it's Nick Nurse, maybe Steve Kerr, but obviously he's not going to the Golden State Warriors. So if you look at it like that, I think really, why don't we do, they couldn't acquire him like Kyle Lowry at the trade deadline. They can't sign and trade for him due to hard cap limitations. So acquiring a player at the level Lowry via trade would be exactly what the Sixers need to offset Simmons' contract and offensive limitations. So then they have to figure out how much they want to spend. So this past season, they were $13.5 million over the luxury tax for a $25.1 tax payment, which will likely be reduced by around $10 million. So the ownership's willing to pay the luxury tax if needed. And they have, going into this offseason, roughly $2.7 million below the luxury. They have 12 players on the roster, including the 28th overall pick. So re-signing Danny Green or using the mid-level exception would put them back at the luxury tax. They could waive George Hill prior to his guaranteed date to generate a little more flexibility to resign Green and fill out the roster. But a Simmons trade could save Philadelphia a lot of money if they're not trading for an equally expensive all-star. They could also consider trading Tobias Harris for less expensive role players, but he's been important to the Sixers this season, even more important than Ben Simmons. So it's tough for them to get a player as good as Harris if they're trading him since he's earning $36 million. So trading one of Harris or Simmons might be in Philadelphia's best interest to fill out the roster without getting too deep into luxury tax. I choose Simmons, keep Harris. They need to sign Joel Embiid to the Supermax. He'll earn 42.6 in the first year of that in 2023, while Harris will earn 39 and Simmons will earn 37 that year. So they need to set that up. So what do we think? Tobias Harris was great. His trade, I don't think he's worth trading. George Hill, he has till August 3rd for his contract to be fully guaranteed. So he has some time. Seth Curry's awesome, and he's eligible to sign an extension that can add 3 years for a projected $45 million. Keep him. And then you got Anthony Tolliver, who, he could be waived. His contract becomes fully guaranteed on the 6th of September. So he's 2.6 that they could save. Thibault has an option. And, for his salary, Shake Milton has a $2.6 million salary, and he can also sign a 45 3-year deal. Then like I said, Isaiah Joe, Paul Reed. Now, the 28th pick, who would they go for? I mean, there's a lot of options out there. Like I've said, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl is the best late first-round prospect for any contending team. He's one of, if not the most versatile player in this year's draft. Roku Perkichin, if he's there, he wouldn't be a bad pick, So I want to hear what you guys think. What do you guys think? Trey Murphy's another guy who would give them a lot of shooting and could replace Mike Scott. He shot 43%, but they could also use that pick to trade. So there's a lot of options that they can do. It's very interesting. But Ben Simmons will be gone before this offseason ends. So I want to hear your opinions down below. That's basically the video for me, guys. Again, I was in the library. I wanted to make this before I went to the gym and worked out. I finished what I wanted to finish homework wise. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, gang, 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 buzz, buzz. If you guys get that reference, you guys are true King of the Sting fans. Peace out, guys.